easy listening. It's easy listening.
What's
music.
wrong with easy listening?
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I just don't care. I don't want it.
Chris Rock gon' be the reason we gon' blow. Boom.
It's the Wirehead podcast. Wirehead. I only said one Wirehead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, that's fine. It's okay. And I'm the other head in the wire. We're back.
Trapped in the barb. Because, life. It's your boy, SPG. That's Stat Pocket Gravel for all you fans out
Pocket
there.
Gravel.
Yeah, Gravel, because times are rough.
And I'm Trezale, and we are the hosts of the Wirehead podcast. The ending of this year has been really fantastic for music across all genres, I find. I know you don't listen to Afrobeats as much as me, or even local stuff. Like I've started listening to a lot of local stuff. XO Jumpo, Chris Yari, Chief Din. They got a song with Rico Maserati called Dangerous. Really, really great track. Or our guy LJ, SFO to POS. That's really, really good. Like when I really took it in, all we do for the sake of this pod is listen to music and report to you guys, right? But honestly, when I look back at it, I was like, yo, my Apple Music playlist retarded. I got real bangers in there, B. And then shout out to SZA, who just dropped a new album. Today we're gonna be covering 2022 review Wireheadz podcast style. So we're gonna be looking at the best and the worst hip hop album
In our opinion.
in our opinion.
Why else did you come? Why else did you come here?
Why else did you come here? And then we're gonna look at the best and the worst verse. Ooh, best and the worst collab. Ooh, I don't know who'll be my worst collab. That's gonna be tough. Best and worst production. And then finally, we're gonna wrap it up with a reveal on what we've been listening to. So SPG, you like to listen in... You're a Spotify guy?
I'm a Spotify guy.
You're a Spotify guy. And I am Apple Music. We're going to do a best of what we've been listening to. And then we're going to reveal it to each other and see, perchance, if there's anything that seems a bit off. Yeah?
Let me go.
So let's dive into it. All right,
so we're looking at. So we're starting off with best album,
best
and worst.
Best and worst album. So would you like me to go first with my best album?
Sure.
I'll go first, sir.
You
Give you a
take it.
chance to figure it out. My best, and let me see if this surprises you. My best album of 2022. It was hard. Not gonna lie, very, very hard. Lots of great albums. I was knocking around. In fact, don't let me just say that. Preamble over. Simba, results date time.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, okay, well, I'm predictable. But just let me caveat that by saying, do I think that it was the most lyrical album? No. Do I think it had the best beats? No. The reason why it took best rap album for 2022 for me personally is because here we have this young cat, 28 years old, Bay Area rapper, fresh on the scene. He was supposed to drop an album pre-COVID, couldn't because of COVID. Then it didn't happen. Then he linked up with SPG's boy, DJ Drama. And he put out this body of work, Results Take Time. And the whole concept of the album is just that. He's been grinding away all this time. He really wants to succeed. He injected all of his life up to that point into this album. And I found it very relatable because I don't know about you guys out there, but results really do take time. And there are a lot of things in my life that I have been grinding over for a very long time and still grinding. So for me, I found it as a very aspirational kind of album, something to inspire me as I go through my life. Notable close second was King's Disease 3. But the reason I chose this over King's Disease 3 by Nas, if you guys don't know, is simply because Nas's album is about a multi-millionaire rapper, which I am not. And so for me, I found it less relatable than Simba's Results Take Time. Thoughts? Pick me apart, I beg you.
I can get with that. I have only listened to a few songs from
said album.
From said album, maybe about 4 or 5 of them. Of course, you know what my favorite one is.
Yeah. Never Go Broke, Part 2.
Featuring
Pusha T.
But
The yuck boss.
um,
But do you know? So prior to Results Date Time, you don't know much about Simba. No.
no, I only listened to a few songs here and there.
Fun fact: he actually rose to acclaim because LeBron James saw his freestyle on LA Leakers, and he was like, "This kid is insane," and he reposted it, and it kind of like,
And it blew.
it went viral. It was a bit of a viral moment. He's had maybe one or two of those viral moments, and it really like catapulted him to where he is today.
Okay.
Yeah, really looking forward to see what that kid does. So
All
that's
right.
my best album.
Okay.
Your turn.
My best album for this year would be it's always difficult to pick this.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go with Lupe Fiasco's Drill Music in Zion.
What?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Give me the metrics. Based on what? I don't disagree. But I just want to know what. Is that recency bias? I can challenge you on that. Because I
Nah.
know that's one of the last ones that you listened
That I listened to. No. I mean, I've been tracking all year long, and a
Because that came out earlier.
That came like mid-year.
Yeah.
I mean, something that I listened to before that was a close second was "It's Almost Dry" by Pusha T. But I didn't pick "It's Almost Dry" because whereas "It's Almost Dry" was, in my opinion, some of Pusha T's best work to date, some of his best work. And I have other things to say about that album later.
I'm sure you do.
Lupe Fiasco's Drill Music in Zion is an album for Robin Douglas. Oops. Who happens to be SB Gravel.
SB Gravel, yeah.
Because
From what perspective?
From what perspective?
Yeah. You got to unpack that a bit. Because
it's not okay, so here we go.
It's a tremendous album.
It really is. It's not the best production I have heard.
No.
And not the best beats, but certainly not like they aren't the very best beats, but they're really good beats on that album.
Soundtrack, I think. That's the guy that
did them.
Production, yeah, soundtrack.
Some of the some amazing and great beats and songs and melodies for some of those songs, because actually some of the songs on there could be singles, and Lupe hasn't really been doing that kind of pop mainstream single type of song for a long time.
He's fell back from that for a long time.
I think that Lasers really left a bad taste in his mouth, and he has been very much about staying true. And I have something to say about that later on as well.
Label driven though.
Yes, I know. We know the story about that. Label driven, and he talks. He's even spoken about it in song about how much he hated the album. But it's a song. It's an album made for me. It is lyrically
dense.
It is
prolific.
Gorgeous. It is glorious. I mean,
precious things, these things that we love.
Listen,
crazy.
So lyrically, it is not just about the absolutely ridiculous wordplay that we expect to hear from Luke, but the concepts of the rhymes are really great to me. The album to me is I don't want to say a lament, but it could be kind of like a treatise to the way in which Afro-American, the worst, some of the worst aspects, some of the worst aspects of Afro-American existence are kind of maybe overlaid and interspersed within the promise of the greatness for the same set of people.
Interesting.
So through the lens of hip hop, especially a current type of hip hop that is synonymous with.
You're talking about Kiosk? What are you referencing when you talk about this?
I talk about Kiosk. I talk about
Miss Mural.
I talk about Phonem. Right?
Phonem.
Right. So like there's so many songs that talk about the same song, Precious Things, right? That talk about the way in which there are these unfortunate aspects of especially hip hop life wrapped up in Afro-American experience, right? Within a context of there is a possibility for Nirvana
Yeah.
i.e. Zion within it
to get out.
So conceptually, the album really, really like, you know, blew me away. Yeah, so an amazing piece of work as far as I'm concerned.
Art.
Yeah, straight
That's
up and
art
down.
to me.
Straight up and down.
That's art to me.
Worst. Worst behavior.
I got 2 worst albums. That's probably not fair. I should just probably leave all the smoke to one person, but I can share it evenly. Traumazine, Megan Thee Stallion.
Okay.
You didn't even listen, right?
Well, you see, one of my difficulties with finding worse music is that, and I know I'm actually, you know, Trizala is quite upset with me because I do this thing where I'm like, nah, I ain't listening to that. Nah, I ain't listening to that. Nah, I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's be like, Stock, come on. It's for the pod. So, yeah, I started listening to things that I kind of would already be like, is this going to be any good?
Yeah.
So anyway, but go ahead.
But I did it for the pod. So I listened to be fair, I started listening to Traumazine because conceptually I was told that the album was going to be obviously talking about what had happened with Tory Lanez and that whole thing. And, you know, she had some bars and things to say about that. So that's how I got into it. But I just can't get with it. I mean, as far as Megan Thee Stallion is concerned, I love everything that she represents in the hip hop space. Love to see females represented in hip hop. I just can't get past the repetitive nature of her flows. Her flows really bother me.
They always have bothered me. I've always felt that Megan is a very simplistic in terms of her style. Her rhyme style is very simplistic, and that doesn't really appeal to me.
Yeah,
I mean, she's got some great, you know, good radio songs.
Right. So I guess I would say that. So like for me, like she would have like one-off singles that I would enjoy, but then to have a body of work which is like the same thing over and over and over again, it was very hard for me, and I wasn't able to get with it. And tied in last place for me, worst album, was Jack Harlow. Yeah, Jack Harlow.
Come Home,
yeah. I really don't like that album. The reason why I don't like that album is because
doesn't he rap well on it?
It's not about him rapping well. That very much was a album for me that missed because of the content. So, unfortunately for me, I need my rappers to be saying something. If you're talking about something, you speak about it in an interesting way. You're talking about guns and violence, be interesting. If you're telling me a story about a love relationship, be interesting. I don't find that Jack Harlow, and I like Jack Harlow. I like what he represents within the space of the culture. I do like him. I think he's very funny. Him and Drewski, love that. Keep doing what you guys are doing. But in terms of the body of work, I just can't get with it. And on top of that, again, maybe it comes back down to being relatable. I just did not find it relatable enough for me.
Okay.
Worst album.
My worst album was DJ Khaled's God Did.
Oh, man. Dawn the 2 came out this year, you know.
I refused. But let me talk about God Did. I mean,
Talk about it.
I mean, I don't know. People, you know, we're amateur music critics.
Yes.
We music critique in our spare time, of which we seem to have less and less of these days. But and so fine, you know, come at me in the comments. It's cool. God Did was a grand example of what DJ Khaled does. He collects the top charting artists, and he, well, sometimes in my opinion, kind of lotto machines them together onto a song, so the collabs don't always necessarily make sense to me.
Okay.
In terms of sonically, and how people come together, but whatever. Is it really about sonically? Because that is the thing about collabs, you know, right? It isn't just about collabing with people who have the biggest things. Sometimes it's about how well they come together on a song.
Right.
But anyway, he just puts these people together on these songs, and the beats are all some of the best production quality, but some of the most generic, boring.
What makes them boring? This is what I'm trying to get out of you. What makes the songs not hit for you?
Is
it the artist involved?
No.
So what is it then? What they have to say? Or is it that it's so transparent that this was...
I mean, maybe there's
concocted,
that. Yeah,
for lack of a better word.
But I mean, it very much is cookie cutter. And I'm not saying that he doesn't use different types of cookie shapes. So he may look for a new pan of cookie shape.
Tons of cookies in that jar.
Yeah.
Different shapes.
Different
right?
sizes. But it's still cookies. So I'm just saying that I just tend to not be impressed by what I feel is a collection of songs made to be palatable to the peripheral listener's ear. Now I know that's some snobby, some snobby music stuff there.
You know, open up a whole can of worms.
Well, I can say because we want.
That's what the industry is about, isn't it?
Yes, I know, and I am about it. I'm just saying.
So are you rebelling against Khaled? Or is Khaled just the unfortunate... Because he's an example of someone who leans into it, but...
I don't think he leans into it. I think he dives head first. And for a guy of his size, that's pretty impressive. I mean... Yeah, that was...
I'm not doing that with you.
yeah, you can edit that one too.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, thanks. I'm saying, I feel like I'm not finishing this point. I'm just saying that to me, the album is an amazing combination of top charting artists, quite a few of whom I like, in like SZA and some other people that's on the album.
Yes.
I like them.
Yes.
I like them very much.
Yes.
But I find that they come together on songs. They're not necessarily saying anything particularly profound. I mean, it's just a nice song, I guess, about some topic or the other that you've heard a million times before, on beats that are often regurgitations of older beats from other that are very, very catchy. And so it's easy listening. It's easy listening.
What's wrong with easy listening?
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I just don't care. I don't want it. I
represent him for the easy listening army over here.
It's like if hip hop is a multi-storied building, Khaled's album is what plays in the elevator to me.
Wow.
Thanks.
I disagree. Fans, people, audience, I disagree. I do disagree. I get where you're coming from, but he could do what he did and execute it poorly. And I don't think he executed it poorly.
I don't think he executed it poorly either. I just don't like what he does.
Right. That is what it is.
I just don't like what he does.
But that doesn't make it the worst album, though.
It's my worst album.
Because he does what you don't like well. Because
yes.
That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. He does what you don't like well.
Listen to me.
I hate you.
I am not here to postulate academically about this. Right? I'm here to tell you how I feel about the thing.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. My difficulty with this is that I didn't listen to a lot of stuff this year that I thought was bad. I mean, there were things that I felt were just mid or average. And Khaled's album, because of its generic nature, just fell at the bottom of that pile. It was like, ugh.
You came up with this section.
I did?
Yeah, I didn't.
You're right.
You came up with this section, so you go first, because I don't know what's my best.